Hi, Stuart here, I'm a psychotherapist, and today we have a request for YUNGBLUD, and the track is called Polygraph Eyes. I haven't heard any YUNGBLUD before, so this is a first listen for me. You don't need long intros anymore. If you want to know more about who I am or how to request a reaction, then please check out the description below. Everything you need to know is there. Let's just get on with this. The night before.
She leaves her parents' house around midnight, meets her best mate at the shop, buy some cheap wine and go to space, see the Milky Way, get away from the teenage, everyday cliche pressure, absent on absinthe, dancing to bad
Absinthe, remember that?
Ain't about romancing anymore. Just you getting lit in the queue to the dance floor. Too many blokes are getting heavy when a girl looks unsteady. Blisters on your bleeding soles here at my boots. I'll walk you home. He walks her straight up to the front door. Just she stumbles on the floor. We all know what happens next. A bit of fun turns to regret. Leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home with you. Home.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Another fear unlocked for me, being the father of two daughters. So it looks like someone's going out with some friends, getting a bit drunk before going to the club. You know, nothing wrong with that. We used to do the same. All relatively kind of harmless fun up to this point. Then we had this line, which was too many blokes are getting heavy with a girl. Too many blokes are getting heavy when a girl looks unsteady. I mean, it just makes you angry, doesn't it? Well, it makes me angry. I don't know how it makes you feel. Followed by, here, have my boots, I'll walk you home. So very obviously facilitating getting her home, and not for her own safety, and taking advantage of the situation. Oh, I can feel that emotion of anger, that heart beating, that kind of irritability.
The floor, we all know what happens next. A bit of fun turns to regret. Leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home with you. Home with you, no. Leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home with you. Home with you. Leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home with you. Home with you, no. Leave it alone.
See that bit there? So there looks like there's a bit there where he approaches her and she goes, no, sorry. I think it's quite clear. He's obviously trying to talk to her. She's saying, no, thank you. I think it's about just here. There. No, sorry.
Leave it alone, mate. Leave it alone, mate. Daylight wakes her up the next morning, a foreign room where the sheets are blue and not white, no scented candles in sight. Just a stranger on his side says, cheers, love, for last night. Gotta go forensic, avoid the domestic, get antiseptic and give him the polygraph eyes. Turn your head to the side and lie to the real life. See this girl, she...
Okay, so he hasn't taken her back to her home, which I think I might have said earlier. He's taken her back to his home, because the words are a foreign room where the sheets are blue and not white, no scented candles in sight, which I'm guessing trying to suggest that scented candles usually being associated with a feeling of calmness, a feeling of peace, a feeling of safety. You know, there's none of that where she woke up.
Get antiseptic and give him the polygraph eyes. Turn your head to the side and lie to the real life. See this girl, she had a boyfriend, his name was Zach, and he made her happy, but he couldn't understand. In his mind she was a slag. When she tried to explain what happened, she was shouting at him for an hour, crying at the top of her lungs, don't leave me here, you're the one I love, leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home.
I mean, poor old Zach, eh? Well, I say that, I guess from his perspective, all he's heard is that he's been cheated on, and that's it. And that's going to hurt him, Zach, a lot. So I doubt right in that moment he's going to be particularly understanding about what actually happened and the circumstances around that. He's going to be so far in his emotional reacting limbic system kind of brain that he won't be able to rationalize any of this at all. He's not going to be able to listen. He's not going to be able to perspective take. He's not going to be able to listen to the actual facts of what happened. He's going to hear the first few lines of this is what happened, and he's going to go straight into emotional brain, and he's going to react based on that.
Shouting at him for an hour, crying at the top of her lungs, don't leave me here, you're the one I love, leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home with you, no, leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home with you, leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want.
Look how much in his face, in her face he is, and now they're drinking together. I don't think she had much choice.
Home with you. She can't even run, she can't even walk. She slurs when she speaks, but you hear what you want when she can't even talk. She can't even run, she can't even walk.
It's really interesting that he says she can't even run, suggesting there that she should be running as far away from this situation as she can be. You know, she can't even walk, showing just how intoxicated she is and lacking in any capacity regarding any decision making whatsoever.
She can't even run, she can't even walk. She slurs when she speaks, but you hear what you want when she can't even talk. Can't even talk, can't even talk. Leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home with you, no. Leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home with you, Leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home with you, no. Leave it alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home with you, Leave it alone, mate. She can't even run. Leave it alone, mate. She can't even walk. She slurs when she speaks, but you hear what you want when she can't even talk. Leave it alone, mate. She can't even run. Leave it alone, mate. She can't even walk. She slurs when she speaks, but you hear what you want when she can't even talk.
Right, there we have it. A story that I am sure plays out more often than one would like. The message is pretty clear. I don't think I need to spell anything out here. Don't take advantage of people. It doesn't matter who it is. It's pretty damn obvious that if someone is in a state where the thinking, decision-making part of their brain is compromised in some way, then they cannot consent. The words coming out of their mouth might sound like they are consenting, but they are not. There's even a line in there that said something like, she slurs when she speaks. Just because they can physically say the word yes, it does not mean yes. Engage your brain, consider the context. And what else is interesting about this video is this chorus, you know, leave her alone, mate. She doesn't want to go home with you. Who's saying that? Is there an implication there that there is someone there, someone present? So it's not just someone else watching the video, for instance, a third person, but there's someone physically present in this scene when this is happening. Someone who is somewhat aware of the situation and what's going on and is aware of the potential consequences of such. Why aren't they stepping in? Why aren't they trying to help in some way? We've got to get better at calling this stuff out. This guy more than likely was out with friends. Why didn't they step in? Why didn't his mates call him out on this? And I guess she would have had friends out with her as well. What were they doing? And if you're watching this and you've seen similar behaviour in yourself, as in behaving like this guy was, then take a step back and ask yourself why. Why are you doing this? What is it serving you? What need is it trying to fill? What is it accomplishing? And if you can figure out what that need is there a healthier way to fulfill that need? Is this an effective long-term strategy? You know, there are more healthy ways for everyone involved to find connection with people, to find relationships, to find consenting sexual partners. And there'll be people in the comments probably saying, Stuart, you're a therapist, you're trained to be non-judgmental. You know, be non-judgmental of people. But look, that's not what non-judgmental means, in my view. We are humans. We judge people. That's kind of what we do. It keeps us safe. There's a function. As a therapist, you become more reflective and more aware of your own judgments through reflection, through clinical supervision, through, experience. And you try your best not to let that get in the way of helping or supporting someone. So if this guy came to me as a therapist and told me what he had done and he was feeling guilty, he was feeling shame, he didn't want it to happen again, he wanted to learn more about what happened in that situation for him, I'm not going to go, hey man, that was a terrible thing you did, get out of my office, because that doesn't help anyone. Okay, I'd help him unpick what happened. I may have a judgment in my head that what he did behavior-wise was terrible, but I'm not going to let that judgment affect my work with him to help him become a better person. So don't come at me with the judgmental argument. Great to see someone as big as YUNGBLUD using their popularity to bring this type of thing to people's attention. I think it's certainly something that needs to be addressed. The viewers, what do we think of YUNGBLUD? That's my first listen. I like him. He's English, clearly. He's a northerner. Like his accent. Love the way the accent comes through in his singing, in his rapping. I liked it. Do we want more YUNGBLUD on the channel? Let me know in the description below. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.